Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, every time of day it is. Glad you're here. So we are getting down to the end here of finishing up our bag journal. So we're gonna put in the mermaids. So I've picked the pages in where I want to put them. So we're just gonna get right on to it. And I have done a ton of work in here too. So she is getting to be a very full journal, and that is fine. So here's what we're gonna do. We have our little mermaids, and I'm gonna find the ones that I had chosen, or find the one I chose for this page. So we're gonna put our little tuna tail girl on this page because I thought it was appropriate for the ocean to make her look like she is leaping out of the waves. Our little cutie patoots here. So see these splashes? I'm making it look like she is coming out of the water about here. Like so. That's where we're gonna put her. Just a fun little element. I'm not gonna put anything else on this page because I think that is absolutely perfect for right there. So let me get my glue ready. Hopefully you can see this. I mean, it's getting thick here, so it is what it is, and that's what we got to work with. So here we go. Last little bits into our journal. I'm so excited to have this be finished. And yeah, then maybe somebody will be interested in taking it on and bringing it to giving it a new life. Hopefully my glue is going to work today, and it looks like it wants to. Kind of cleaned my nozzle some yesterday too. So, all right, so this little friend is going right about there, like so. So she's coming out of the waves, and now we're going to get the rest on. Just really quick, easy peasy. And we'll go from there. Hope you guys are having a great day. It is a kind of a overcast, dreary day here today. So I'm doing a little fun stuff in our journal. There, I think that's perfect. Get our little girly on there. Get our good little smooshy smoosh. And the other thing I was going to show you guys, I did make a writing board yesterday for this journal as well, because it's definitely going to need one for whoever has this journal to work in. So I will show that off in a little bit here, because we'll probably be using it on our next couple of pages. This one is fairly flat and easy. So there we go. She is sorted. I'm going to put a little piece of plastic in here just so it doesn't stick while we move on to our next one. I'm going to try and do this pretty quick, otherwise it'll take forever. And this one we're going to put on this side, and this is also very flat. So the one that's going on here, we need to do a little coloration on some elements that I want to add to this page. So I had these trees, and I'm thinking if we give them some color, they're going to look a little bit like seaweed. So that's kind of my goal. And then we're going to put our little sharky girl in here. Our cutie patoots little shark girl. So let's get this slid away just a titch, and we can get some color on these little trees. And we want to stick to our color theme, but I'm thinking doing a little bit more of a greenish on these, maybe some spray quick. So we might have to let them dry a minute. Let me grab a scrap. Should have thought of that. Lots of shifties today. I did a bunch of cleaning in the studio yesterday and tidying so that I could move along from one thing to the next really easy. I had a lot of things that I needed to get sorted. So I'm going to use some pine needles, and let's just see how that looks. I think pine needles, I think, is going to be the best. So we're going to give these two little pieces a spray here with anything else I want to add to this. I have this purple net as well, so maybe we will hit that. I'm going to see, I see one more tree here, so I'm going to do this one as well, because I want them to look like seaweed, and we might be able to use them for other stuff too. So all right, so those like that, and maybe we'll blot them a little bit, hit them with a tiny little spritz of water here, and then give them a little blot and see how they look. So I don't mind if they're kind of have some different tones in them. And they should still look really nice on our page. And blotting them a little should help them so we can use them quicker. All right, so 1 and a 2 and a 3. Okay, I like that, kind of slightly different. Maybe let's hit one of these with a little bit of a different color. Let's do a tiny bit of festive berries on this one, just to give it a slightly different tone, because I like the yellow green that's on this one. This one is more of like a tealy green. And okay, that's a little heavy. That's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Oh, that's nice though. That's good. I like it. That was a little heavy-handed, not gonna lie. But I think we're good. Okay, let me do a quick reset, bring the book over, and go from there. Okay, let's get these friends in here. Not going to do too terrible much else on the background, but put these few little elements in, and then add our little girly. So I'm going to kind of do right along the edge of the page here, and then I'll trim it down afterward. So that one's going to go there. It's a little damp yet, but I think it'll be fine. Should be fine. Oh, I did not need to go as much on this side as I did. It's fine. Well, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna put this plastic in here so we don't stick to our other page. So there, that'd be good. All right, that's gonna go there. Now I'm gonna do, I want this friend like that. Yes, I think so. Yes, yes. So what we're going to finish up doing today, getting these little mermaids in here. I've got 4 mermaids that are going in here on various pages. And then we're going to finish that back pocket too. And I will also show you the writing board that I made. And then our last one, and I think I'm gonna kind of put this one about like that. Yeah, these look very seaweedy to me. See how you can kind of use different elements and make them kind of look like another thing, which I always think is great. to be able to use your things in different ways, maybe that they weren't exactly intended to be. All right, now our little Sharky girl. Make sure her placement is going to be good. I think right about there. So let's just rock and roll. Kind of looked at these yesterday and kind of thought about ideas and thoughts as to where they needed to go. So, you know, because it rained yesterday, and when it rains, I can't record videos. So I have to try and get as much of my prep stuff done as I can if I want to prepare to do some videos. So that's what I was working on, finishing up the rest of this journal and then prepping for things. I hope I put it over far enough. I did. Okay, perfect. And I think I will come back and trim this later. I'm not going to do it right now because I'm going to let that dry really well beforehand. There. I think she's super cute. Super cute little shark mermaid. Right. I got that close to the edge, but I think she's super, super totes cutes. Okay, so I'm going to, because that is wet under there, maybe we will trim this down quick. That way I have one less piece of plastic hanging out here maybe. Carefully. Okay. Pieces out of the way. Okay. Okay, so that is good to go. I'm going to flip it this way. And then we're going to just rock on to the next one here. If I can find... Oh, maybe that... Oh, that was just keeping some... There we go. That's our next one. This is our next one right here. So let me scooch this over just a little. I think... You know what? I got to move this teacup. That'll help. That'll help. Scooch over here for now, friend. Okay. All right, so this side, we are gonna do something with this. Add in some color. Now, do we want to add this net? I do not know. I don't think so. I think we'll hold off on that. We'll just see. We'll have a little look. Have a little look-see. So here is our fancy lady. And I kind of wanted it to make it look like she's leaning on this trunk slightly. But then giving a little bit of accent, a little bit of color to this page with the purple. And I think that's nice. I don't know if I want to do anything else, but you know what? Whoever gets this journal, they could add some stuff too. Which is kind of my goal with this one, is to make it so that there's some things to start with, some really fun focal points and interest throughout, but still plenty of things that you would be able to do for yourself if this was a journal that, you know, you would receive or someone would be giving to another person, things like that. Plenty of writing space, plenty of pages to decorate and have fun with. trying to just get all of this little bits and pieces here for this piece of coral. Blend it around a little, make sure we're getting everything. All right. Okay, friend, let's get you on here. There we go. Very cute, very nice. Just a die cut that I had. I actually got, I don't have the actual die that cuts these. I got some of these in a swap that I did with somebody. So, and this part's going to be tricky because her tail needs to be fastened just so. So I'm going to glue her fin on here quick to make sure our placement is proper. To make sure it's the place that has the correct placement. I kind of don't mind that she sticks out a little bit on the top. Yeah, I think I like that. I think that's good. Doing it. We're doing it, guys. Oop, I probably didn't need to go up so far on her head. Maybe we'll scoot her down just a touch. I remember I used the stickles on her necklace to give it a little bit of sparkle. I'm gonna have to glue a tiny bit under there too, so it doesn't, I don't want some of these, like when they're loose like this, I don't want them to catch on things. Okay. Her hand is definitely down, so that is good. All right, so she's ready to rock and roll. And our next fabulous lady, get her in. Now she is going, at least these are kind of, a couple of them are in the same signature, but I tried to make sure they were spread out because I didn't think of the mermaids earlier on. I had already, some pages already had stuff on them that would have been good, but you know, work with what you got. So this is just packaging, by the way, that I'm using. So I have like a little stack of these like little envelopes and stuff. They work great to put in between stuff while it's gluing if you want to keep working. Okay, so this is practically the middle of the book. And this is what I was thinking, that I thought it would be really pretty and fun to have our lovely beluga tailed mermaid on here, because this kind of looks like it could be an underwater scene in this painting that I used for this page. So then when this folds down, you don't necessarily see all of that. And yeah, that could be, so that's the plan. So let's go ahead and get the tail in. Could we add more stuff to the background? We sure could. We could add all kinds of things if we wanted to. The thing is, I've already put so much stuff into this journal that it has gotten so unbelievably thick that I am worried. And it is heavy at this point too. She is a very full journal and I love it. All right. And if you're wondering how I made these mermaids and what I did, I have a video that came out on Thursday, this last Thursday, that showed all the techniques and stuff that I use to make these fun little ladies and cute little girlies. Now, hopefully I did that. So she is just peeking out just a little bit. Perfect. I love it. I like the angle. Make sure I get her hair down well. There. So that is where we are with that. And I love it. All right, so I'm going to put one more piece of plastic in there, and then we're going to hop to the back of the journal and get that bit done as well. So since this is done, and I hear my computer making some noises, just if you hear it, that's I was loading videos to edit. All right, so I'm going to pause here, come back with everything prepped to finish the back page. All right, here we go. Last page, last pocket. Here is, I want to show you guys the writing board that I made for this journal. Oh, sure, now it doesn't want to come out. It's come out easily every other time I've done this, so I don't know. Okay, so there is the writing board. It's pretty sturdy, so that'll work really well in the book. And then I just did inked underneath first. So I did a like a strip of the peacock feathers down the center underneath. Then I did some pink up here. Then I did some purple. Then I layered it with that kind of fancy lace paper. And then this was that giant wall sticker that I've used a couple other places in the book. And then I sanded the edges a little bit with a sanding block, and then did a little bit more shading with some of the inks, and then this side too. So this is the writing side, nice and flat. They'll be easy to put and use in anything. So there is that. I'm going to tuck these under here so they're out of the way. Now we got to do something with this pocket. We have this like Rolodex thing up here or something. I don't know. I can't remember what it said, because this is from a file folder, if you'll remember, that we put onto the back here. So let's go ahead, and I'm going to do the edge here first. I'm going to hit this with some ink. Let's do pink. Let's do some pink. And maybe we'll do pink all the way around, I think, and see how that looks. So I'm just going to start adding some extra kind of ink around here. Give it a little bit more interest all the way around. If it gets on the back, it gets on the back. I'm not too overly concerned about that. So then this big pocket obviously holds that writing board, but then you could stick some other envelopes of stuff in there, things like that as well. I'm just kind of getting along that edge, kind of tone down that green, because it's not exactly the nicest of greens for our journal. There we go. So that I am happy with. I'm going to hit the edge a little bit with a little bit of the teal, just for funsies. That. So I'm kind of lifting it up so I can just kind of get on the edge just a little bit. Nice. Nice, nice, nice. All right, so that is good there. Next, we got some other fun elements to add here. So I have a couple border pieces. I thought this would look really nice on here. So we're gonna do that. So we're gonna trim this down for here. And then I'm gonna add a little bit of glue to this as well. So then that one's gonna go there. And these are stickers, but because I want it to be nice and durable on this pocket, I am going to add a little bit of glue as well, just to make sure we're going to hold well. And of course, I'm just taking the nozzle off just to make it easier on myself today. Might get a little extra gluey. It's okay. Make sure I got it the right direction. That looks good, pretty straight. So I'm putting it right on that edge. So I wanted to make sure that it is well fastened down. Now, top edge. I'm going to put the purple, but I'm going to put it right on top of that to help cover up that bit. So let's go, I'm going to do, trying to figure out what the best way is to cut this one. Maybe I'll just cut it straight and that'll be the inside part. And then I'll leave the fancier side on the outside. Yes, okay, perfect. So same thing. So I wanted to add a little bit of extra sparkle here too. That's why I chose these fun little friends. And almost all those little dots came out except for one. Like centers to the flowers. That's why it's nice to have a little fine tweezers like that. I'm going to try and do a tinier bead of glue. I just want to. So I'm just putting a little bit of glue on each one of these spots here too. Yes, it's a sticker, but you know, they don't always behave themselves when we want them to. And I want it to be nice and sturdy. Nice and even. We get some interesting color happening here with our oxides. That's all right too. Okay, so that is down. Next, this flower is going to go on here, but I wanted to add a little bit of a few other little elements. So that little, I think tucking this little friend under here is kind of fun. I think I'm going to try and get the rest of these popped out really quick. Well, a few of them. So we'll have a few little gaps, but they don't want to come out very easily. And I don't want to wreck this die. Boy, they're really in there. Okay. Is what it is, and I'm okay with it. Yeah. Okay, yeah, that's cute. That's cute. So let's get that on. We're just making decisions, rocking and rolling here. Ah, here's what I'm gonna do. I mean, that could be pretty just as is. Maybe we want to cut this flower down a little bit more. Trying to decide if I want to cut this piece off or not. Decisions, decisions. I think it kind of helps balance it, but I'm going to cut it. I'm doing it. Doing it. Okay, so that's going to go like that. Now I have a couple of these little trees that I thought would be fun to kind of poke out. So let's give them some color. And I'm just going to brush it on this time. So let's do this one in the purple. Brush. There it is. Let's do the pink one first. I'm going to do I want to do pink? Yeah. Let's do the pink first because I think I used pink on my brush last. And we'll do this one in the purple, and then we'll hit the blue one with a little bit of the teal. Just a little bit here. I don't know how much is going to stick out. Okay. And now. Okay, I like that. And then our teal or peacock feathers. Just to give it a little interest and contrast. That is nice. I love it. Okay. And it's our colors that we're using. So that is also good. I think I kind of went a little bit away from using some of the green that I had happening before, but that's okay. Do I like that? Oh, that's kind of pretty. Not a lot sticking out there. Yeah, let's just do it. Let's do it. Yep. Yepers. Rock and roll. Get these friends on here. They're not exactly perfectly where we laid them. That's okay. I'm all right with it. Because it will be organic and beautiful. And then I think for the flower, since it is fabric, I'm going to use, make sure I don't have stuff stuck to it. Oh yeah, that's lovely. Lovely, lovely. I could have even had them stick out a little more. All right, we're going to use some fabric fix on this. Since we're doing fabric on here and it grabs fast and it's very sturdy on fabric, so I'm just gonna get that going here. Hopefully I have enough left in this bottle. I like Fabric Fix. It is a little bit smelly if you don't like that kind of chemically smell. But I think it works really well. You do have to kind of work fast with it because since it is high tack, quick grab, it doesn't, you don't have a lot of workability sometimes, but then it takes a bit to cure. But once she's down, she's down. And there you have it, friends. Our last page. Could we add something more to this? We sure could, but I don't think I'm going to because I kind of like it the way it is. Just making sure it's all pressed down, and I'll probably put some bags of beans on here for a little bit too. Oop. Toward the end. I leave it upside down so it wants to leak out a little. Okay, there we go, guys. So last page of our bag journal is finished. Everything is finished inside the journal itself. So the next thing that I'm going to do is put some things in all of our pockets, and we're going to do a flip through. So next video is going to be the flip through, showing you what all we've done inside this friend of ours, and we will go from there. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and don't forget, art with your heart. Have a great day.